Hi, we're here with Harper and Jack. Uh, we're Jesse and Jodi, and we're doing a video cast actually instead of a podcast with some faces with the voices. Um, and since I like to hear myself talk, and I like to look at myself in the mirror, I get the best of both worlds. So, so we're here with Harper and Jack, and we're gonna have a conversation with them about their experience in the lifestyle, or fun things they did in the lifestyle, or even non-fun things. Or but I think being in the lifestyle is mostly fun.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
Oh
you
yeah,
guys? Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yep.
Or I mean,
it's got us hooked anyway.
I'm happy to be here. So Harper and Jack, where are you guys from?
We're from up in Appleton, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
which is a
Wisconsin.
nice little spot if you're into live music, but not if you're into swinging. You got to drive a little bit for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Like when I go online, I see quite a few people in that area, the Appleton area.
We do have a little bit of a community there, and like we'll get together for dinners on occasion. But as far as like events, you gotta
Oh,
travel a little
events.
bit for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Actually, I don't
Always
see.
traveling, but
Surprising there's no events up there.
Maybe
Like,
we'll
it
have
is
to
a little
corner that market.
because it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a community up there. So
right.
Yeah,
who am I playing footsie with?
Me.
Which is,
you
okay.
picked the right person.
Yeah. That's a good thing. I'll leave. I'll play footsie with Jodi or Harper. No offense. No offense. No offense.
Come on, I can
No
do it.
offense.
It's all about sharing.
I thought that was swinging was about.
Swinging is whatever you make it, right?
Yes.
All right. So, how long have you guys been in the lifestyle?
A little over 2 years.
Yeah, Halloween 2021 was our very first event. We went right into the hotel takeovers,
Yeah. We got spoiled, main hotel right away.
right?
That's sweet.
He was friends with the host at the time, so that was very nice. I mean, it was intimidating, but it was very nice.
Trying to remember our first hotel takeover was not a complete takeover, but we took over like a building of the hotel.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yep.
And it was. I mean, it was intimidating. I mean, we were like, just gonna go to the first floor. We're not going anywhere. Like, we're just gonna go to the dance, and then we're gonna come home. Deal. And then, of course, that didn't work. We got there, we were like, the dance over with. Like, do you want to look upstairs? If you do, like, I do if you do. So
Right.
we ended up going upstairs and checking it out. It's like it is pretty easy to get fooled in, especially when you're having fun.
It really helps, I think, if you have like a person that you're doing it with. Like some people go at it solo, and I feel like if I had gone at it solo, I might have backed out a little sooner. But knowing that I could just look at him for reassurance was very helpful.
Yeah. And I was invited to a house party previous to that, so I got to kind of have my shock value before that, so I could help her through hers. And it was a pool party and then a dance and party the next day. Everyone was kind of in different states of undress.
Yeah,
at
that
the
pool party is the reason it was shocking. Is because we go into the pool party, half naked people, hardcore porn on the wall. I'm like, baby, that's not what I signed up for.
She's like, I don't know if I'm gonna take my top off. I'm like, you don't have to. Like, everybody's cool with whatever you do. We probably went up to the room a couple of times and got our stuff back together and went back down again.
Right. So once we started talking to people, I was like, yeah, these are definitely our people.
Right. Yeah, you start to get to know these people, and they're amazing.
Yeah.
Everybody's so cool and so friendly.
Very open.
Yeah.
You guys tend to go to like bars and nightclubs and dancing and stuff like that. Do you tend to see people in the lifestyle out when you go out, or or is it generally like you?
If we vibe with somebody,
Well, we have run into a couple people where we haven't planned it. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I'm talking about like people you don't know, like just like going out and like, oh, you guys are speakers. Oh, we are too.
I don't
people
know. I
are-
don't know if we would pick it out or not.
Really?
I feel like we are a lot more likely to like flirt randomly with couples now than we would have been back in the day. We
Yeah.
just kind of assume that it's a possibility now.
and some are like, wait, what's happening here?
Like some guys are like trying to protect their girlfriend.
Yeah.
Actually, last time we were in Appleton, we went out with a group, and all of a sudden this couple just like you guys are swingers, right? Can we,
Oh, nice.
can we hang out? Like,
Yeah.
like literally, I was like, oh.
Well, Jack's like a little chick magnet. Like, just randomly, girls have come up and hugged him and kissed him, and like,
I don't know.
guys wait till he's away for me to try to dance with me. And I'm like,
Yeah.
if you're brave enough to dance with me when he's there, then maybe you have a chance. But if you're gonna do a little, yeah,
Well, that's the vanilla world, right?
exactly.
Right.
You know, the vanilla world, they're not like, they haven't caught up yet.
Yeah,
you
they
know, they're
don't
like,
know what's going on.
like, oh,
They don't know what they're missing
yeah, yeah.
We try to convert everybody.
either.
Cool.
Yeah, there are some couples we meet and we kind of like start explaining stuff, and they're like, "That's interesting." And I think we've had some kind of check some stuff out. And
Yeah.
so that's cool. It's always fun to, if it's for you, come check it out.
Well, for me, I kind of like to corrupt people a little.
Corruption is good. Without corruption, we wouldn't be here, right?
Right.
Like we wouldn't know about the secret underground world. It's not so underground anymore. You know, I mean, like now, it's like the worst kept secret. I mean, anybody don't know which way here except like, actually everybody knows which way.
That
We
was
don't
kind
even-
of shocking to me, honestly. Like when we first started out, and he asked if he could sign us up for like a swinger event, I was like, well, sure, if you can find something, thinking it wasn't so prevalent. But now that we're in it, like, I feel like it's
Like,
She's
everywhere.
like,
It is everywhere.
that's in the movies. That doesn't
Right.
exist in
Yeah.
real life.
You're like, holy cow! It's like 4 parties on the same
Yeah.
weekend everywhere. Like,
There's been some moments where I'm like, I thought it was like only a Hollywood thing, but you feel like you're in Hollywood in the moment.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, and there's some of the best parties. I mean, like I said, with the people in it, you could go to a swinger party and just have a really good time without even swinging.
right,
and I think, most of the time, most people probably don't swing at the swinger parties.
right.
You know,
Right. You build connections
And community and friendships.
Yeah, because there's different type of parties.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, you get to be like sexy and flirty with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Mhm.
and then when those stars align and you're all just kind of like dancing and partying, and you like look at each other, and you're like, wait, tonight's the night, isn't it? Like, you guys want to go to my room?
Yeah. That's it.
Right.
and things we've learned, when you first go to a hotel takeover and you're in the main hotel, you're just like going to a hotel. But then you start walking the halls, because that's a thing. People have flyers on the door, and like who they are and their names, and you're like, oh, well, that's cool, that's neat. And then you get inside some of these rooms, and people
They're,
are
like,
so
decked
creative.
out. Yeah.
They change the light bulbs. They've got like lasers going on there. Some people have speakers and projection screens. So you start to be like, okay, all right, this can be like.
We've seen people that bring stripper poles,
Right.
crosses.
So like it's like a party with mini clubs all over the place.
Yeah.
It
It
is.
It's
It is.
You go like
fantastic.
room to room, and you're like, wow, it's a different experience in every
Right.
room.
Yeah.
You know, like
The
we
theme
bring out,
everywhere.
yeah, we bring out light bulbs, and we're like, as soon as I get there, like, what's it out light bulbs?
Yeah.
Like, all right, I gotta go get the
Get
second
the mood
room,
lighting going.
get the second room ready. Yeah, so it's fun, and the thing, I mean, it kind of keeps you young because you stay active. I mean, there's something to do like every weekend if you want to, right? Or
Right.
like most weekends. I mean, and you meet so many people in the lifestyle that it's like you just don't like. I mean, you're constantly busy. I mean, like it's always something that's like, man, it's already Monday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
What are we doing this week? Like, God, there's something going on.
The weekends go by so quickly, it seems.
And the weeks go by quick. Sometimes too fast because you're still recovering. You're like, damn, it's Wednesday already. So, sometimes you got to go back to work and take a break from partying.
Right, yeah.
Always look at it like, especially if you're active in the community and you like know a lot of people, it's like almost like somebody mentioned Hollywood. It's like you're like a socialite, right? Like you go any city and you know people, like literally, you're like, oh, cool.
But it feels nice. Like every time you receive an invite, you're like, oh, we're wanted.
Well, it's real nicer for guys because sexy ladies are always wanted, right? Like,
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we come as a pair.
No, but yeah, so it's actually been like a lot of fun. Like I say, you meet so many people, have so many friends, and now like all of our new friends probably over the last 10 years
Oh,
have
yeah.
all been in a lifestyle, where they're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
like weddings or graduations or picnics
And
or
that's the
family
really cool
reunions.
thing. Like I said, like yeah, you go there thinking, oh, we might, play with some of these people, and then you end up being part of their lives.
Right.
You're like, oh, dang, they became like a really close friend and really good friends. But when you're being so open and intimate about everything,
Yeah.
it's like, wow, you kind of know me like my best friend does, but probably a little closer.
Yeah, it happens a lot faster for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do get closer to people a lot, I guess.
Yeah. You're just like throwing it all out there. Like,
Hold my wife's hand. Yeah,
Yeah.
you get pretty close. You get comfortable with that. You get pretty close pretty quick.
Right,
You get to be pretty trusting of, and yeah, like so you guys said you started off like 2 years ago.
Yep.
And does it feel like 2 years, or does it feel like a year, or does it feel like you've been in a lifestyle for like ever?
it feels like we haven't been in forever, but at the same time, it feels like we've always been part of it.
It feels like sometimes it feels like when people ask us about it, it's like we've experienced so many things so quickly.
Yeah.
Like things we never probably even would have thought to experience. So in that way, it feels like we've been in it for a long time. But when you talk to people who have been in it for like 10, 20 years, you're like, oh, wow, I am really new. Like there's a lot to go.
We know how long we've been in based off Jessica, right? Right before we had Jessica, is like probably like our first experience or something like that.
Yep.
So she's 21, so we know it was about 21 years or something like that.
Yep.
See,
And,
so when we say 2 years and you say 20, I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
We're still fresh
We got
meat.
so much to learn.
Yep.
Oh, we still got a lot to learn too. Trust me,
Yeah.
we still learning all the time.
And I think even in those 2 years, you learn a lot of good things. You learn a lot of bad things. You learn what you like, what you don't like. Because certain situations, all of a sudden you're like, you think everyone's on the same page, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, what's happening here? No, this wasn't what was agreed upon.
Oh yeah, but now like fast forward, you guys get experience because of the lifestyle being so open. There's so many groups and so many people openly talk about it and the social media. So you guys get to it's like you guys been there 20 years because when we start off, it wasn't like all these groups. It wasn't like you know what I mean. So like we had to go through all the bumps in the roads
Right.
on our own, like trying to figure it out. It wasn't like now,
Which I can only imagine the way you guys like had to seek it out. For us, it's like all in our lap.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. It was Yahoo groups, and like you send an email, couples looking for couples. Yeah, listing. It was like
Mailing out your picture.
so use a Yahoo Mail. It was like you mail somebody like, hey, we're looking at your, I guess your ad. Yeah. So it was like, would you like to meet up? And then you're talking through Yahoo Mail. I don't even know if they had cell phones. We didn't have cell phones.
No.
Yeah, it was just so different. It was just like, and then you're like, oh, somebody messaged us back. So they message you back.
And even now, it has its own difficulties with, if you join a lifestyle website, whatever you want to call it, social media, like SLS or Cassidy or whatever it is, we've never had great one-on-one meetups. So it's the events are where we like to go and like to experience because you get to see
Well, I think
people.
everybody has like their own path
Right.
that works for them. Some people have really successful one-on-one meetups, but for us, we found it's a lot better if we
I don't know too many people that have successful one-on-one meetups.
really.
Most people that talk about their meetups is like, yeah, you can't find anybody on SLS. Or
Well, that's because you meet them and then you start talking to them.
find out
and
you have
you're
nothing in
thinking,
common.
well, I'm being truthful. I have my photos up there. I have, and then you find out like some people don't change their photo for. We've ran into where you think you're talking to a couple and it's probably just a single man. And they're like, oh well, we could still meet up today, but she's not gonna make it. Like, well, then we're not gonna do it. Like,
It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder to know who you're talking to.
Right.
So it's sort of like going on a blind date, right?
yeah,
It's like, and
then
you're
there's
right. Some
pressure.
people may get lucky, but like I
Yeah.
say, I don't know. I think most people usually tend to find their way toward parties and
Right.
events and stuff like that. We
I think
randomly get messages, but it's like we go to so many events. It's like
Yeah,
Hey,
just
meet
try to
us at
sign
one-
up and be there.
Yeah, meet us at.
Right.
Here's a list of all the events.
It'll be great because not only will you get to meet us, you'll get to meet a ton of
Right.
other cool
So
people.
even if we don't buy, you haven't
Yeah,
wasted
Yeah.
your
yeah.
time.
Nobody's hard feeling because it's like
Right.
100 other people you can go talk to versus meet up one-on-one. It's like,
Right, and if you just drove 3 hours to do it.
yeah, you're like,
like.
the kids call you yet? Like, nope. Oh yeah. We gotta go. Babysitter got
got
sick.
sick.
Yeah. He tied the babysitter up. Sorry.
Yeah, got you.
Maybe next time. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like,
Email me.
Yeah.
So I think what really helped, like she said, is I knew somebody and was able to get into a hotel takeover right away, and that kind of started it all. And then after that one, we're like, yeah, let's do New Year's. Like this one was good. Let's
Now we
do the
sign up
next
for
one.
everything.
Yeah, now it's like every weekend there's something going on.
So you also like went to lifestyle parties outside of Wisconsin.
Oh yeah.
Right?
We have been to a couple, so we've been out to Chicago to check out a couple of lifestyle clubs, and then we
Yeah.
went to New Orleans recently. That was pretty awesome.
So when you go to clubs outside of Wisconsin, I mean the ones you went to outside of Wisconsin, they pretty much run them like the same hotel, like the
I
way.
think it's like
Are
a
they
similar
like?
structure, yeah, where
Yeah,
you expect there's going to be like a little social time, and then there's generally a dance floor, and then there's going to be your play spaces. So they're all pretty similar.
Mm.
The only big difference is, of course, with your hotel takeovers is you have somewhere to escape to, which is why they're my preference.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, we prefer hotel takeovers because even if we go to like bar parties or stuff like that, we end up getting a hotel room anyway.
Right.
And it's just like,
And you have that private space, and
yeah,
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to talk to your partner once in a while in private. Like, hey,
right.
you know, how are you feeling about all this? I think this couple is like really digging us. Is that something you're into, or should we?
It's very
Try
hard
to,
on the
you
spot
know.
to make that. Are we doing it? Are we doing it? Like,
Yeah.
So you also been naughty in New Orleans.
Oh,
Was that an
nice.
experience? Like
Oh,
what
yeah.
type of experience was that?
well, I think just because like it's in New Orleans and on Bourbon Street, it just adds that whole like party Mardi Gras atmosphere, and yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, they had takeovers on certain bars on certain days, so you could go in. There was a foam party we went to. We've never been to a foam party together.
Right. So we knocked
or
off like a
all,
couple
so-
items off our list. Like I had never flashed anybody for beads on Bourbon Street.
Yeah, I've never given beads. For
Right.
boobs. And
So you just go around with a bag of beads and like random
Yeah,
I mean,
strangers?
they were
So
passing them out, so we were gathering so we could throw them
well,
out.
it was funny because there was one girl. She's like, "Lock." She's like, "Beads." And she's like, "Yeah." And she like comes over and she's like,
And we're like,
why,
no,
why
tip.
isn't he throwing the beads? She like looks over at her boyfriend. She looks up at me. She looks at him. She's like, like you can see the light click. Like I didn't
She was
make
not
up
a
the rules.
lifestyle
I didn't make up the rules. I didn't come down here to break the rules.
Yeah.
So,
So, but it was a ton of fun.
Well, it was like a vacation too, you know, because we got to try all that like authentic Creole
Oh
food.
yeah, the food was amazing.
oh, I bet.
Oh,
Yeah, I won a dance competition.
Oh yeah, that was the
Oh.
first time
It was-
either of us had either like gone on stage and competed because we're trying to prepare for Miss
Yeah,
Miss.
out of 10
Miss
guys.
Institute.
Like
Really? Oh, you
yeah,
killed it.
yeah. You know, I honestly, I looked over at her and she's like, "Go, babe, go." And I was like, I'm just gonna pretend that everyone else is not here, and I'm just like being silly for
I don't
her.
believe that because you were humping the crowd, man.
Well, I just pictured you as all of them.
Yeah.
So,
That doesn't work for swingers.
right.
He was the only one pulling out those magic Mike moves. So.
Yeah, it was a
He's
good
like
time.
Wisconsin style.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool. It was fun outside of my comfort zone, and I think that's what these trips can do for
Right,
you.
that's what the lifestyle does for you. Like you get to try things you never thought you would try.
And,
Get to be a new you. Get to like, oh man, I have that in me. That's awesome.
Like you don't feel such a need to like be the schooled and restrained you because you're not worried about judgment so much.
I do think the lifestyle do give you like a swagger, like a confidence.
Yeah, it's-
Especially like if you're being like hanging out with your partner and things like that, and you go places, and after hanging, everybody's just
You're like, we still got it.
yeah. And then you go to like other stuff, and you're like, I'll crush this.
Yeah. Right.
Dude's like, wow, that dude cool.
It was a lot of people. I mean, it's 2 hotels. There's so many activities, and some of them overlap, and some of them go past what. So you got to really pick and choose what you want to do. You can't go to absolutely everything. So you kind of want to go in with a plan, and then
you kind of throw it out
when
the
the plan
window.
goes off the rails, you make a new one, and you just kind of, oh, this sounds fun. Let's go check this out.
So it's Naughty in New Orleans. I know that's like the theme of the week. Is that like a swingers event, or like is it like half regular, like regular club? Like is it? I know they have swinger activities, but it's like the Naughty in New Orleans theme
It's
based
not
on like.
just swinging, so it's like all different lifestyles. So it's like kink, nudist, like just anybody who's like open and
Right,
it's
right.
like an
It's
adult.
an alternative. It is an alternative lifestyle
Yeah.
event. So most of the people you run into is in some type of alternative lifestyle,
Right.
whatever that may be.
And we met them from all over the U.S. It was fantastic.
Hey, you guys got a chance to meet DJ Rocket Roddy. What a coincidence, right?
Yeah, it was
Which is funny
fantastic.
since
He's a character.
he'll be coming in November.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'm like, DJ Rocket Roddy? I was like,
We're
wow.
doing all the networking for sure.
Yeah. So that shows like that you guys actually got around when you guys went down there and talking to people and socializing with people. Like again, these type of experiences. I mean, it's like really like
Once in a lifetime type stuff.
Yeah,
It's
very very unique experiences that they do have for like alternative lifestyle people. Sure, regular people can do it too, or except with clothes on.
right.
Like I
mean,
took that joke from one of my friends.
If you're a person who likes to party, even if you're not into kink or if you're not into swing, if you like to party and you like to be around party people, this is still something you're very much going to enjoy, I feel like.
I think it keeps you young.
Well, the dancing alone, I mean, in our hotel, there was 2 different venues for music. So it just depended on where you wanted to be. We bounced back and forth between both of them. Both of them were pretty much crowded all the time until a certain period of time. And then all of a sudden we're looking around. The first day, we're like, where'd everybody go? Oh, they must have paired off and went to their rooms, right? Because the like elevator area is kind of busy. And then I was like looking at the list and I was like, hey, it says here that there's a whole floor dedicated to like play. Like, so the first day we didn't even notice that. And the second day we're like, well, let's go check it out. That's where everybody went. Everyone's like, okay, we danced enough. Let's go play. And man, up there was awesome.
That was the bit that almost felt like Hollywood style, because when you got in, like you've been into group playrooms, I imagine before, right? With like 2 beds pushed together.
Mm-hmm.
No, this one was like 20 to 30 beds pushed together.
Wow.
With people on every bed.
Yeah,
So
how many people do you think
surreal.
Participated in something like that?
well, there was 2 hotels full, so
yeah,
at least 1,000 people.
1,500 people.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
So this is huge.
It's huge.
And they have a big thing every year. I know they do like cruise ships down there too.
Okay.
Huge
Yeah.
cruise ships. I think they own a couple cruise ships, or one cruise ship or something.
Mhm.
But they're Naughty in New Orleans is pretty.
Yeah, if you're looking
Pretty
for a vacation that will be memorable, for sure.
Right, and active, and it's just amazing to meet that amount of people. And
I don't know if
probably
we
getting
really
people from
slept
all over.
much. It was
Like-
it was more. You go do a bunch of stuff, you get tired, you nap, you wake up and you go do a bunch of stuff again, because it's almost like things are happening around the clock.
right,
I mean, even late into the morning hours, you had this cafe you could go to and just lounge around, and
right.
then you go to
Like
breakfast, and then it starts all over again.
So something you guys would like to do again. And how long does it last? I mean,
It
is
was,
it like 4 days or 5?
Yeah,
We
it's
went
like
4 or
Wednesday
5
to
nights,
Saturday.
yeah.
Wednesday to Saturday.
Yeah.
So did you guys do anything outside of like I mean, because you're in New Orleans,
Oh,
they like
yeah.
to say it's a vacation. So did you guys get a chance to experience New Orleans outside of?
Not a ton. Like
we
we
didn't
definitely-
really care to. Like,
Well,
I
there
mean,
was
it's
not
hard.
much going on. It
Yeah.
was already challenging to like fit everything
Yeah.
that they had scheduled, but we did go
We
to
did
check
get to
out
enough
Colette,
restaurants. And-
which is a swinging
yeah,
club down
yeah.
there.
oh, they got a swinging club in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it was only like a 5-minute walk away, really.
Yeah, it was kind of cool because it's actually like almost in between both the hotels they took over.
Right.
Perfect
So-
landing spot.
Right,
And that was a cool
they
atmosphere,
give you
too.
like a free pass for one time to go check it out, included with it. So it's kind of like, well, why not? You go check it out.
Well, we went the first night because the theme was Pirates, and I was like, that ain't sexy. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go to the swinging club, and that was a cool
I was
atmosphere.
like, I don't know, I can make pirates.
But after we discovered the playrooms, I was like, we're just staying with the playrooms.
Right, yeah. I
Like,
mean,
look at the 20 beds.
Right.
yeah, because you had that huge room, and then on the other side you had they called it the crystal room. So lighters, but they're clear. It's
Just
a well lit
like ambient little
room.
crystals. It was
Yeah, so
nice.
like if you wanted to be
cool.
seen, but not interrupted.
Right.
And then they had semi-private where you could have
Little sheer
your
curtain.
little, yeah, it was like little cubbies, and then if you wanted it open, you could. If you wanted a sheet so people could still see through, but not really, you could do that. And then they even had like a chain on the inside. So if you really want to be like, yeah, you're not welcome, but you can watch, type of thing. And they
had like a playroom, and then they had a toy room where they
Yeah.
had motor bunnies and Sibians.
which we
and a
learned the
swing.
difference between the two.
Yes, we learned the difference. We got educated.
What's the
Yeah.
difference?
Well, okay, so the Sibian will like twirl.
Yeah, it has a
Yeah.
twirl on it.
Yep. Where the motor bunny goes back and forth.
So the motor bunny hits your G spot more,
So-
so it's more likely to make you squirt.
Yeah, so it's really what you're looking for.
Unless
they
you like
both
that
provide
full coverage
something,
main.
I never knew the difference between them. Of course, we got a Sibian.
Yeah, so like I just thought that was like they're like, well, they're the only ones in the game. Let's get in there and get some of this, But no, they do different things. So
Well, somebody might make one to do all three, right?
right, yeah.
But then it might cost like $3,000.
Yeah, right.
And then,
That's up. You gotta buy it in
$2,000, yeah.
installments,
So is the motor bunny as powerful? Does it go as hard? Like
I
the
think
Sibian
so.
is like a car.
I think they
Car-
are both as
Yeah,
powerful.
Car engine or something.
I think they're
As
just
far
as
as like the
powerful. They just
vibration.
Yeah.
they just do whatever
Different
you're
motion.
looking for.
You guys are experts now.
I know, it's amazing.
See, and we've been in there 20 years, and I didn't know the difference.
Yeah, I think we did we did a speed dating, but it was more less talking. Like, so if we matched with you came up to us, we'd basically say our name, Jack, where we're from, Appleton, Wisconsin. Then it's like you take some time and you look into their eyes, be totally silent, which can be awkward, right? so if you're not like, I don't want to gaze directly in their eyes, you just kind of look on their face or whatever. And then you just slowly start with some touch.
Well, yeah, you like lean and you take in their scent.
Yeah.
You just very slowly like see how you vibe just with touch instead of talk. And that's something that I thought it was kind of profound, and I would wish every group would do that, because I feel like there's sometimes where you like start a conversation and it really is going well, but you never break the touch barrier, so you're like kind of gets awkward.
Or a couple that you might think right away in your mind, like, oh no, never.
Right.
Like I don't think I would sleep
There
with
were
them.
people where they came in front of me and I was like, but then we started like interacting. I was like,
Yeah,
Alright.
it gets
But
you
it
past
works
that
for you guys
first.
because you're like open-minded.
Yeah.
Some couples are not
but
open-minded.
I don't
They're
think you
like,
would have gone to the meeting. You wouldn't have gone to that class if you weren't open.
oh, right. So it was a
So that's why
class.
I
It was
think
a
that's
class. It was a
class.
class.
Right.
And then you do kind of say, hard limits or boundaries.
Well, the first thing is you would go up and you'd say, I'm Harper from Appleton, and I don't like it when people touch my lips. So you'd say your boundaries right away.
Yeah, and there was no groping, no ass grabbing.
Yes.
Like, let's keep it kind of light
Very
and just get
PG.
to
Until the end, though, because by the end of the hour, like, people were pretty worked up.
yeah.
Because you had just touched 50 other people, and you're like,
But get some, and they're like, I don't have any boundaries. I was like, okay, well, mine are. Don't poke your fingers into anything. You're like, all right,
they're like, okay,
right?
maybe I have
Like, if
some
I didn't.
boundaries.
What if your kink was like, I like to poke people in the eyeball? Like, and I didn't say don't poke me in the eyeball. we think like, oh, that's kind of a common thing, but to that person that loves to do it, they're like, they didn't say not to.
So this is interesting. So we're doing a video cast or a video, not a podcast, and we give you guys the options to like show your face.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do this. So I wanted to do this like a couple months ago, and I remember posting about it. But the hang up was like, all right, I really wanted to go like viral, but I was like, do I want to like? But that requires like, do I want to show off?
Right, yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
knows, but it's like there's no hiding it now. So it's like, so I was debating on the video part, like, if we're really gonna push it, like we're gonna push it. We're gonna put it on YouTube. Things like
Well,
that.
when you message it, I
So
was
we
like,
gave you the option to do, just the
Audio
audio.
yeah.
So, like, what, like, how do we get to this point where we're like, we don't care. Like, all right,
Well,
cool.
she,
It's gonna
she
be a
told
video.
me we had an option, and I was like, well, I'm cool showing my face, but can we disguise my voice?
You can't be serious.
Funny.
Honestly, it's just like,
I don't know. At
what?
this point,
it's kind of
like,
out there, and
we are swingers.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
no denying it at this point. So for that to be out there, plus it kind of is out there now that things are on social media and things are on Facebook. It'd be really hard to hide
and
it.
it's a positive one.
I mean, for somebody to find out, would I be ashamed? No, but it's hard not to think about. There is a little bit of stigma. I don't really want my colleagues knowing.
Right.
But at the same time, like, I'm not ashamed to be a swinger. So,
Well, actually,
And if they're
we're
not-
having a lot more fun than the
Right.
other people.
And if,
Yeah.
if they're not seeking it out, they're most likely never going to find it.
right.
Exactly.
If they're looking for it, then they're sharing
Yeah.
the same secret.
Yep.
Usually,
If anything, it might be helpful for them to see that people in their lives, it's a very normal thing.
Right.
and
Yeah.
I always tell people, most people just don't care. Like they care if you hide it. Because now they're like trying to find out.
Yeah.
But they're like, if they actually like, oh, are you a swimmer? You're like, yeah.
I think the only thing
They're
in
like,
this
oh,
is make them
okay, like,
want to ask more questions.
Yeah, I think most
Yeah,
people are
right.
curious. Like, we haven't lost any relationships after people found out that swing. Actually, like I say, most people want to hang out. Like, people are like,
Yeah. Most
hey,
people
can we
are
hang out with
really
you guys? I mean, we actually became a lot closer with like regular people that we know, like because it's like you kind of get rid of the boundary of like, all right, if we're gonna have friends, it's mostly like just me and the guy talking and just the ladies are talking and they kind of keep it streamlined. We go to a bar, it's like me and the guy is kind of just sitting around talking and the ladies is doing their own thing. But when we go out, like now, whether it's with regular people or our swinger friends, it's like we all together. Like it's
Right.
all
Right,
everybody's
yeah.
just one group,
Everybody's more comfortable.
and it's like
Yeah.
nobody. Yeah, and it's funny like how like regular people that we hang around, when we go to the bars, are a lot more comfortable with their partner, male, female, talking to me and Jody than they are with their partner talking to anybody else.
Yeah.
Which is the weirdest thing to me. It's like we're the swingers and like they're like, oh, Jessica flirt with you all the time. And
Right.
like,
Yeah.
that guy looking at you. And we're like,
Yeah.
unless it's Jesse, then it's like, or
Yeah, that
it's
is cool.
like, oh yeah. Like nobody better not talk to my man. Well, Jody, you can. It's cool.
Yeah.
How cool. It's just funny how that dynamic worked.
Yeah.
That our regular friends never feel threatened by us being swingers. Because I remember this one guy, because they're not swingers, but I always flirt with his wife. And she was like, talking to him, he was like, oh man, you and Jesse cool to hang out, whatever. And she was like, kind of laughing, like, I'm surprised you trust Jesse around me. He's like, well, I already know Jesse. Like,
Yeah.
the
I
stuff
know
that he
your
say,
motives.
the stuff that he say to you, he say whether I'm standing here or not. So I don't have to guess what he's like saying to you.
Yeah.
He say the same thing whether I'm
There's
around,
no
whether I'm
secrets
not
under
around.
the table
Which
stuff
is
going on.
interesting because like, even in the lifestyle, we have people that like still, have the same issues as like non-sweet, like like we have relationship problems. We see people break up, we see people divorce, we see people end up with other people, so we still have like those same type of issues that I say the real world or the regular world,
Right. Yeah.
non-swingers have, but
Because I think
Yeah.
some people, they go into it and it's different for everybody.
And
And
different
everybody's
reasons.
got their own rules and everybody's
Reasons.
looking
Right.
for a different thing. So it can be difficult. I mean, for the most part, like I said, we've met awesome people. I think especially at the hotel takeovers. And it's great to have new people join, which is fantastic. And if they're not, vibing or they're not following rules, they won't stick around long anyways because
It's really-
nobody's feeling it, nobody's liking it, nobody's gonna play with them, and they're gonna be like, well, this isn't fun. I'm spending all this money. Like,
community kind of police
yeah, we're
itself.
big on
Right.
consent, and I think the community is. Yeah.
That's, I think, like why your friends are more comfortable is because they know you're communicating openly, like they can see that you have a good connection, like
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
like,
think people appreciate that.
if
and
somebody
right,
comes
right.
out of nowhere and just starts like, touching up on you and it's not wanted, like those people won't be around.
right. And
No.
like boundaries is a huge thing. Like everybody understands that like you need to ask consent. So
Yeah, and we look out for each other.
yeah,
Like in
Yeah.
this community, like if you're not around and I see Harper looking uncomfortable, I'm not gonna be like,
Right.
"Where's Jack?" I'm just gonna be
Right.
like, I'm gonna walk right up and be like, "You
Right.
okay?" You know,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
I
blah.
know. I know.
And
We
we
have
do that for
friendly
all
faces
ladies.
around.
Yeah, we
so.
do that for all ladies. I always tell
Oh,
guys,
yeah.
like, our number one job is to look after
And
all
I
the
feel
ladies
like
in the lifestyle. Make sure
Even when
nobody's.
you have awesome like single males
Yep.
there, like seeing something like, hey, this isn't cool. Like,
Yeah, we all look
it's a
out
great
for each other,
community.
and that's a good thing with the community. And it's a pretty tight knit community. I mean,
Right.
yeah, you guys are in a house not for the first time. Like
Right,
you
yeah.
think about like how many people you trust in the lifestyle. I mean,
right.
I was a groomsman in one hospital's wedding, and we just like we been around people in the lifestyle, our lifestyle friends, hang out with our regular friends, like, and it's like, oh, we're having a cookout. We just invite our friends, no matter
Right.
like, and they know, and they're like, everybody just get along, we've been
There's
pretty
so
lucky in that
much,
sense.
so much to do.
Right.
It's hard because you make great friends with people and you're like, oh well, we want to go try this party, but our friends are also having a party here. Oh
Yes,
man,
there's a
now
lot
what do we
of
do?
FOMO happening.
Yeah,
we
it's
want to
just-
be at both.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I said, it's so much to do. Like
Mhm.
you really want to be able to do everything, and
Right.
you just can't.
I will say
Right.
though, like you talk about it being like a tight knit community and like building friendships. That I think is the only thing that we've heard from like newer couples. Like they'll reach out to us and be like, "I see you go to a lot of events. What can I expect?" And then they like just assume it's going to be very cliquey.
Mhm.
And I think that from the outside, like even when we started, we even felt like it was cliquey because when you look at it, everybody's talking to people they know, they're talking to their friends, they're comfortable with people. But the second you are brave enough to say hello, everybody is so welcoming.
Yeah.
So
No, let me show you to these people.
Right.
people.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at it from the outside, yeah, of course, there's going to be people talking to old friends and they're going to be having inside stories. But if you're willing to say hello, if you're willing to break in, we've never had anybody
And there
not be
are some
friendly.
people that are cliquey, but there's a lot of people that are not cliquey.
Right.
Like and you tend to navigate toward like
Right.
People it's
and
easy
like
to talk to
like-minded
people,
people,
so,
like-minded people. That's like
it's scary to
But
talk
I
to
just want to put
strangers
that out there
sometimes.
because I don't want, like, you shouldn't let that scare you away from it. Like,
No.
it's not high school. We're a lot more open now as
I
adults,
think
and we
so.
all remember when we were scared.
We're a little more brave
doe
now.
white people.
But yeah, our first one, we're just kind of like
We
standing
had to
over
like
here.
talk ourselves into
like-
talking to people.
She's like, "What do we do?" I was like, "I don't know. Maybe we just stay here."
I think most people are
Everyone,
gonna come in.
everyone's
eventually
like,
they're
they're
gonna
new
come in like
people.
that.
Yes, they're like, you guys are new, and I was
New
like,
people are always gonna come in like that. For one, they don't really know what they expect without, because they probably, if you read on the internet, you can hear anything from like, oh, it's just a cool social gathering to
right,
like,
to everybody's
it's
getting
a,
naked.
yeah, like as soon as you walk in the door, everybody's naked.
And you see
and there's
everyone like
parties on.
kissing and having fun. And as a new person, you kind of feel like, well, like, should I be doing that? Should I not be doing? Like, you gotta kind of
You just
build
have
up
to be
some
willing to put yourself out there a
friendship.
little bit.
Yeah.
You got to get up to her and be like, hey, I think you're sexy and I'd like to flirt with you. Like, and then you build that up, and now the 10th party you've been together at, now you can like hug her when you greet her and kiss her when you greet her and grab her butt when you walk by, because that's all been established that it's okay.
Yeah.
So it is a lot when you first get in it. Like you got to take it slow, even though we're there to have fun and we're all wearing sexy stuff. It doesn't mean that you can just go touch anybody.
Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's-
We're big on consent.
Right.
And you may not know that coming in because you may see that and you're like,
Right.
oh man.
But you're
That
like,
dude just
they've
slapped
known
3
each
women
other
on
for
the ass.
years.
Like I can go slap women on the ass.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you can't.
Yeah.
Like,
And so, and you build those personal ones where it's like, well, she typically doesn't like anyone slapping her ass or grabbing her ass, but like he
That's not
gets
true.
to. I'm not saying like you, I'm just saying like anyone in general, but they could be like, but he's got like, he's able to.
Right.
Like if you're him, you got permission. If you're not, then you don't.
That's something I think also that the lifestyle gave me is like when we first came in, like we were so shy and we didn't want to like reject anybody. So we would almost not even like stay in a conversation for too long. I was like, we're starting to lead people on. Let's go. But now, like, I have so much of a voice. Like, I am willing to say if I'm feeling something, if I'm like, can you back up a little, please? Like, instead of just trying to please everybody around me. And that's a powerful thing that, like, I had never had before.
Yeah, I mean, when we first got in, like I say, the Yahoo group thing, we had no clue. We didn't know what we didn't know and what we did know.
Right,
it was just like,
you're constantly learning.
Like,
I mean, you're going to make mistakes.
And like,
it's going to happen.
The best thing we did was find like events and parties and hotel parties and stuff like that, because it's like, man, because like, when we first started off, we was like, no hotel thing. It's going to be way too overwhelming. It's going to be too much pressure and stress. And it was like, so we'll just meet couples one-on-one. And it was like totally opposite. We were like, we should have been doing hotel parties from the beginning instead of getting trapped in somebody's house. They're like, you walk through the door, you're like, hey, how's it going? They're like, cool. You're naked in the hot tub? Like,
we always recommend the hotels.
We're like, I don't know what. Do you want to get in that thing? I don't know if you do. I don't know. It was literally, we just like,
and you don't
didn't know, like you said,
private time to discuss it over. Like, you're like,
you're right on the spot. You're right on the spot.
Yeah. Well, you don't want to be rude, so it almost like keeps going whether you want it to or not.
You're like going in circles.
Yeah.
And being a guy, I'm more flexible. I'm like, I'll go with the flow. Definitely cool. So you guys are going to be doing hedonism in March.
Not even New Orleans was like a little trial run for Miss No
Swimsuit. And we have Miss No Swimsuit in the Mitch.
Yes.
So you guys will be going down there. Are you going Saturday to Saturday?
We booked exactly what you booked.
Friday. So. Oh, okay. So we'll be down there Friday,
early.
1 day early. We'll go downtown the grill and figure all that stuff out. But so we'll be down there a week. What we call
8 days.
Very excited.
8 days.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds like we're gonna have a good amount of people coming down for support, which I am so grateful for.
And if you can make it, please do.
Yeah. The more friendly faces, I feel like the less terrifying it's gonna be, because, like I said, Naughty New Orleans was our first time on stage, and hedonism is gonna be like times 10 because I'm gonna be naked.
I'll be happy. I'll be happy that you'll be naked most of the time.
Yeah, if you get there, you get to see her naked.
So that should be an experience. Like when you talk about like some of these things are like once in a lifetime experience. I mean,
when you presented it, I think that like I felt like we could never do that kind of thing, but we're never gonna have that chance again.
Yeah, it is. Jodi got a chance to do it, even if it was against her will, or she was forced into it.
I mean, it looked like she rocked it.
But I think it gave her a new appreciation for what ladies go through for the week. If you have to go through it yourself, I mean, it was like, so I think, and she probably, I'm sure she learned a lot about like how to help, things like that.
Which is reassuring for sure.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be like 7 days, and like you said, they'll have different activities. And they're pretty relaxed now as far as like how much pressure they used to put on ladies to do things and stuff like that. The guys still have to do the guys thing. Go fetch water. Go prepare
I've been
get the meal ready. But like this will be a nighttime.
Yeah, I think this will be.
We started in 2015, and then we missed 1 year.
Yeah, we missed 1 year.
With the COVID year.
But ruined everything.
Yeah. But it was it is always a fun time. I mean,
I've never been, so it's another.
It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
It will be an experience, and you'll be able to be like, I did that. It might have not been on the bucket list before, but you'll be like, when we look back, when we go back and like think about all our lifestyle days, when you're like just chilling in a rocking chair, you think of all the stuff you did that was like associated with the lifestyle. It's like you kind of like, it
feels like you're living a fuller life.
Yeah, it is like Hollywood is like. I mean, it is like. I mean, I never really looked at it like that, but it's like, it's like you get to do be like celebrities without the money.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But-
Which is fantastic.
But the
That's the way
fame,
you want it.
but I mean, the fame in our community
Yeah.
is like, it's kind of the same, right? You go to a party, hundreds of people,
Yeah.
people know your name, and it's like
Even
everybody's
after
like,
we're
yeah,
on stage
hug.
for a dance competition, we get up and
Right,
everyone's like, you
everybody's
did such a
"We're
great
rooting
job.
for you."
Like, oh man, that's crazy. I'm trying to get to the bathroom, people just keep stopping me. Like,
Yeah,
you were watching? Oh man. Okay.
yeah. Definitely like I always say you get to live your best life.
Yeah.
Like I say, like you always doing something different, always doing something new. Even the same thing that you do is
Right.
it's
There's
a
no
different
way.
experience all the time. You
Mhm.
meet different people, even if it's like one or two couples that you meet this
Yeah.
time.
Mhm.
You always and if there's, you cannot have you can't say you're having a boring life and a lifestyle, right? Like there's
No.
always
Yeah.
something to do. Whether you go down to Vegas and be like, sign up on a board and be like, hey, we're swingers, we're in town.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna call you in Vegas, like, you guys are new here.
Right, yeah.
Literally, I always tell
Let's
people
show
like,
you.
we could probably go to any city in the country and have there's gonna be swingers there.
Right.
You can jump on SLS and put a hot date up in Houston and be like, get 10, 15, like, you guys want to go out to dinner while you're in town? We want to hang out? Like, hey, we know this bar that you guys should go
Well, that's the
to.
thing too. Like the community is such that like if you go to a place, like you've got already friendly people there. They're going to show you the hot spots.
Yeah.
They're going to make sure you have a good time
Take
because
care
they
of you.
want you to think fondly of their town.
Yeah,
Like,
right, yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
It is like wherever we go, like we always like, especially if it's new, like, should we put a hot date up? Should we not? But usually if we do,
What you said with like, having fun and once in a lifetime type stuff, like with the foam party and getting on stage and dancing. I mean, if I'm talking
And you even like
out,
tame it down.
Yeah,
They're like, holy crap.
they're like, I thought I had a great weekend, but I guess my weekends are boring. I was like, and you only know like a quarter of what happened.
We have no clue.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God. Or when they tell you like their exciting stories and you can't tell what you really did. You're like,
Right.
oh really? Yeah, you went to a strip club.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. That is so
you're
not
like,
vanilla.
man, last time we went to a strip club, it was like 10 of us, and
Yeah.
all the women were on stage dancing, and you're like, wow,
Right.
like, oh my God, yeah, it's or the last time we took over a strip club,
Right.
So, like the fun days, just imagine you think about how often we meet up with our friends and how often we do different stuff. And whether it's like just going to a regular bar or going to an event or anything like that, you think about like what it would take to get your regular friends together, like that. It's just,
right.
unless it's a wedding or
It's
some celebration, like
Right.
maybe a holiday,
Mhm.
you just so it would be hard to be like, to constantly be able to engage in that much fun,
Right.
all the time because people just like, I'm just old now. Like it's time for me to like behave. It's like,
Right.
no,
Yeah.
and it's like the older we get, we're like, dude.
Well, I think it keeps you
You
out
know,
of
that
Never
was-
that.
that time.
Yeah, it keeps you like out of that comfort level of, every weekend I just kind of do the same thing.
Right.
Like even if you're in the lifestyle and your weekend is kind of the same thing, it's a party every weekend.
Yeah.
And a different party every weekend. So the same thing ain't that bad.
Yep. And if it's not a party, you can make a party, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
You can call up easily, 10, 15 couples be like, hey, let's hang out and go to this town.
Oh yeah, and that happens all the time. Like nowadays, if we're going to go dancing somewhere, if we're gonna go see a comedy show, like we always post up about it. Like anybody want to meet up with us there? Like it's always an event. Like,
I thought I plugged that in. I thought I plugged it in, but maybe I didn't.
emergency.
Oh no, it's just my charger.
Half
Just,
out.
That's okay. Who doesn't like kitties?
oh yeah.
We're gonna pick back up.
I don't remember where we left off.
We don't have to. We don't have to remember where we left off. We'll
Let's
just
blame Jesse.
Just be like, we like pussy so much.
Oh my god. Put that down.
Are we
You're
just gonna just like?
She put that down.
She's always telling me that.
Wow, that's pretty cool that it just keep going.
Right.
Yeah, that's nice.
Funny. Technology today.
What are we just gonna just?
It's already recorded. So were we talking about Hito? We talking about Harper getting naked? I don't remember.
That. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Harper naked.
But
The other ladies out be there naked.
yes. Yes.
Like a lot of naked women.
Yeah, so
would
if
be
I'm not
fantastic.
tempting
Yeah.
as far as my naked self, there'll be multiple other naked ladies.
You'll be tempted. You'll be tempted. I'm always tempted when I'm around you. Even when you're clothed. Even when you're clothed, I'm tempted. So I know I'm gonna be tempted when you're naked. But I'll stay focused. I'll be like,
Right.
all right, I'm here for support.
And I have to try to stay focused because I got a job to do. So.
I love
Yes.
that you're gonna have to cross dress and get on stage.
Yes, that'll be
Not just
interesting.
me.
You'll be the first guy that probably won't cry before they have to do it.
Yeah.
He's gonna
Yes.
own it.
Right?
That's what he's
Yeah,
gonna do.
yeah. Usually the guy, we spend a whole week telling the guys like, because they usually don't find out until they get down there. We never tell them because like,
Right.
Otherwise, it scare
They're
him
like,
away.
wait,
Yeah.
what?
yeah, like literally, they're like, yeah,
Oh,
like
I
what?
gotta
Like,
sit.
so they have like anxiety all week.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
For like this one
It's not
3-minute
even that.
routine.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like panicking and like you see, like the women are actually doing a whole week's worth of things that give them anxiety. And the guy have one day on Friday and he can't stop thinking about it. Like they like asking me all these questions like, so on Friday, like how long is the song? Like,
Yeah.
dude, it's Monday. Relax. Like we'll get there. But it is a different. I mean,
Like, how long is the song you picked? You know.
so it, but pretty much the guys have been doing it. They really don't have a choice, you know, because the
Yeah,
ladies,
I mean, it
ladies
sounds-
kind of make them like. dude, I
Again,
mean,
one of those unique experiences. Like, why not? You know.
Yeah,
Just go to-
knock it off the bucket
Go to
list.
Jamaica, go to Jamaica and
Yeah.
dress up.
That's what I did in Jamaica. It was amazing.
Yeah, so we do have pictures of fantastic. As I posted in those pictures, though.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Probably wise.
it's like, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna look gorgeous.
See, he's owning it.
Yep.
So funny. Well, I mean, kitty cats everywhere. So, well, we thank you guys for like being our first video cast. It kind of gave us an idea of like, you know, how to just
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate you
having us
having us
on.
on.
Yeah.
always fun to chat it up. You know, like, you know, we kind of, it's funny because it's comfortable to have these conversations because we talk like this all the time.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like you always talk to your friends in the lifestyle, like these very conversations all the time. And that's probably why everybody's so comfortable with each other and you're so comfortable with your friends. And, you know, because communication is not only big between couples, it's big between lifestyle friends,
Oh yeah.
right? You know?
Yeah. Honesty goes a long way in this lifestyle.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're not open about what your likes and your dislikes, it's just not gonna happen for you. So people are a lot more communicative.
I always say.
So you mean I got to be more straightforward?
You're very you got no problem with
Right.
it.
just being honest, like what you're looking for. If you cast out like, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I provide. Well, if the couple you're looking at is like, oh, that's not what we're looking for.
Right.
You can't
shouldn't
try to
take
now.
that as rejection.
Yeah,
You should
right.
take that as, well, we're
Like,
not the right fit.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay.
for
There's
sure.
going to be other couples. If you try to force this to work, what you truly want is going to come out when we get into the bedroom to play.
Right.
And I told you that's not what I'm looking for.
Mhm.
So how do you expect this to go well for anybody?
Yep.
You're not going to be satisfied because what you want, I told you I'm not going to provide. And what you're looking for, I'm not providing. So we're everybody's unhappy.
I think honest.
Yep.
So,
Well,
So I
you
think-
hope they learn.
right.
Right.
You know,
So-
like you say, if not, they get weeded out anyway. Usually.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just cast out who you are and be true to that.
Positive, good vibes. Yeah.
Never know. Never know.
You're,
You
like,
might
you're
get
gonna have a
lucky.
ton of fun.
You might bet outside your league.
Yep. Right? You be honest, you're gonna
But
have the most
also,
fun.
like, I feel like even if you do have like likes and dislikes, I think that's something that I appreciate a lot about lifestyle people is that they're open to things that maybe outside their box a lot more than I think vanilla people are because, yeah, I mean,
Well-
maybe I could like it. I haven't tried it. So,
Yeah, well, that's like the line, like, I'll try anything once.
yeah.
If I like it, I'll try it again.
Right.
Exactly.
So, yeah, no, it's a very fun lifestyle, and it's very cool. And like I say, we get to do things like this, have interesting conversations, you know.
Right.
It's interesting because this type of uh, conversation, I think, will be more taken in by people that's not in the lifestyle, more curious people, like, oh man, I wonder about this, I wonder about that. Versus
Right.
like people in the lifestyle, you know, we're already in the lifestyle, so it's
They're already
like,
in the know.
you know,
Mhm.
you know a lot of your friends, it's kind of curious, but I think people outside the lifestyle, they always have that curiosity, they always have that.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You
Well,
know.
that's why it's great that you're doing this because, like I said, every time we go out, we're trying to bring other people in because I feel like if you're not at least like giving it a chance, you're missing out. Like maybe it's not for you, but
Mhm.
chances are you're going to enjoy some aspect of it.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be a sex aspect. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
some people get into it and they're not even like full swingers, you know,
Right.
they like,
Oh yeah,
or
they just
swap.
come for the party.
Yeah,
they just come for the community.
come
Yeah.
from the environment, you know, it's just
Like I
cool
said,
to be around fun people.
Yeah. Cast who you are and what you're looking for and what you want, and it's probably gonna change.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially if you're in it like 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah,
Or even 2 years. I'm
yeah,
sure
well,
you guys changed over the last 2 years where you're like,
Oh yeah, we've definitely learned some stuff.
Yeah, what you're looking for right away. Once you had it and you're like, yeah, I like it, and then you've had it for 10 years, you're like, well,
Maybe
now
try
we've
something
changed.
else.
Yeah, let's do something else. Let's
Mhm.
look for
and
something
meeting
else.
different people in the community, it might open your mind up to a lot of new things because, again, you don't really know, outside of what your bubble is already, you don't really know, like,
Yeah.
what it's like other places, like I say, when you go to like Illinois or you go, you know, most of the stuff is still ran the same, but I'm sure you got over there, there's a few differences that's Illinois style versus Wisconsin style versus Minnesota style
Right.
versus Bourbon Street style, Vegas style, you know, California probably have different swings than Oregon, you know, and it's like, I would like to go to some West Coast
Oh
events.
yeah,
though.
right, yeah.
And I heard
Get spicy.
yeah. Yeah, it is warm all year round, so you don't have nothing else to do but swing.
Right. I think Vegas is something we've heard about that sounds
Yeah.
like a lot of fun. So
Yeah,
if
we
you
put
see
our
us
name-
out there, come say hi.
That's funny. Yes, that'll have to be on your bucket list too. Then
Yeah.
we
Oh,
went out
yeah.
there one time. We put our name on like a swinger list, and we just like started getting all these like emails and like people reaching out to us like, "Hey, you should go check this out. Hey, you should." So we had like a like it was like we already been there before because like so many people reached out and was like, "Hey, you should check this out. You should do this. Swingers will be over here. There's parties over here." Like it was like, wow, you know, like they really have an open community there. But Wisconsin has I mean, once you get in the lifestyle, you see like how vibrant Wisconsin is swinging. I mean, we have just tons of groups, tons of people
Right.
throwing events,
That was
tons of
when we were in Naughty, New Orleans. Like we were talking to other people like about their communities and stuff, and so many people are like just stuck because they only have like one club. So they have one club and whatever house parties they can find. Whereas here we've got like a few different groups that host
Lot of
hotel
groups.
takeovers,
Lot
bar
of groups.
takeovers,
Wow.
meet and greets.
yeah,
Like,
More
I
fortunate
feel like
than we
we're
thought.
like a bit spoiled.
We
when you
are,
talk
we
to other
are.
people.
we
So,
are very spoiled, and a lot of people are in a lot of the groups. So we, you know, like and a lot of the groups are like hosts are like friends, and we go to each other
Oh yeah, there's
parties.
definitely
Yeah.
overlap.
So
but
everybody, so
they're all
every-
different vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
everybody
Mhm.
get like, I mean, we went to a sapphire party last week. We had a blast, you know.
Yeah.
You know, we look forward to going to other people's events and
Right.
doing different stuff and not having to think about it. You
And
know?
it's great seeing that too.
Oh yeah,
You
it's
know,
great
and-
seeing how the hosts of some groups will support the other groups. So
Right.
Mhm.
Like, hey, you guys get to
you get to take a break.
yeah,
Right.
cut
Yeah, I take
loose.
full advantage of
Yeah,
like,
right. You don't have to worry about if everything's stocked or the music is just right or whatever.
but
is
it's sort of like
happening.
a police officer, right? Like,
Yeah.
like when we go to events, like if they can't find a host, they're like, we'll just go tell Jesse and Jodi. Like,
Yeah.
actually, what we're doing is like, dude,
Right.
we're not
I'm
hosting
not
it,
on the
but
job.
like, they're like, once we're hosting, they're like,
You know how
always
things
hosting.
work.
They're
Like,
like-
yeah, I'll get you.
They're like, Jesse will know. Like, no, Jesse won't know.
Yeah.
They'll still be like, oh, cool. But I mean, it's kind of cool. You know, you kind of feel good. Keep the or build it up, help build it up. Lifestyle in Wisconsin and help keeping the lifestyle in Wisconsin going. You know,
Yeah. And that's the
it's
thing.
kind of strong.
Is every group has its own atmosphere.
Yeah.
So, you know, we love all the groups.
Yeah.
So it's like, what atmosphere are you looking for
Right.
on whatever particular event you want to go to?
Right, and there's plenty of events because it's not our style that we don't go to.
Yeah.
And they're out there. I mean, there's other
Yeah.
groups like if you're looking for the wild hardcore, as soon as you walk in, getting it in, they got
It's
those
there.
groups.
It's
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So whatever you're looking for,
Right,
there.
yeah, you
We kind of navigate more toward the more social groups and stuff like that. But there's some
Yeah.
wild groups out there that's like,
early
like no
mistakes.
conversation.
Right.
Let's just get it in. So it depends on like there's just so many options, you know, in Wisconsin. You know, I feel like, you know, I mean, yeah, we're very lucky that the group is and the community is wide open here because like, you know, like again, we're doing this video cast, we're not really worried, but like you go anywhere, like we go out to bars, we go out to restaurants, we go out, you know, and
Yeah.
we still behave ourselves. I mean, we behave like you in public, but it's like
Right.
actually
More
we're
fun.
very,
Comfortable with everybody.
yep, and we go out in public and you know behave. You know, by the time we leave, people know we're swingers. You know, we're not getting negative or anything,
Yeah.
but they know. I mean, they're like,
We went
oh,
bowling that one time with you guys. You know, there,
Oh
there
yeah,
was
we had
people
the
at the
other
bar.
ladies
They're like,
coming over.
they look like they're having a ton of fun. Like, let's go party with them. And like their guys were kind of like, I don't know if I like that.
it's
Like-
too much fun.
Yeah.
You have social all the time.
You know, if you came over here, you could have fun too.
Well, no matter where we go,
go.
We dance no matter where we go.
Yeah. So, but hey, again, we thank you guys, and
Thank you.
we'll definitely have to have a conversation again.
I
You know,
hope so, yeah.
but right now you guys are only interviewing.
That's
So
it,
we'll be like,
Yeah.
what are you guys doing next week?
Yeah.
Interview time.
You'll
I'm
have to
glad-
get us up in another like 10 years and see how we feel about it then.
I was thinking after Hito. You know?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Then we can talk all about our Hito experience.
Oh yeah, that'll be and it will be an experience one way or the other. It'll be an
Yeah.
experience. I think it'll be a fun experience. It's gonna be a good time. And you're going with friends.
Yep.
You know?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like so. Hey, thank you guys, and I'm glad you guys actually decided to do it in person because I was like, oh, we can just, you know, you can just connect your camera
Yeah,
to
that's
and do it.
nice.
But
Right.
this kind of work, and now since I got
Nice.
everything set up and like hopefully the audio is working. If not, we'll just have to like record our voices.
Yeah.
Fill with emotions.
Just dub it in.
Yeah.
Like, they don't know what we're talking about anyway.
It
We're
looked like a
like,
bad kung fu film.
well, thank you guys. I'll end it now because we've kept you guys way over an hour. But this is a conversation because I was like, all right, we'll do
All
a
right.
good 30 minutes. And,
Well, anybody who's looking it up, give it a shot.
HarperNJack. I heard that first.
Of course.
She reminded me that once before. All right, thanks, guys.
Yep.